All right. Let's do this, baby. Let's fucking go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to the Dynasty Hot Sauce Podcast. I'm Larry Monkey. You can find me on Twitter at FFLarryMonkey. And we're rocking the salmon in February, folks. The salmon shirt is back. I don't know if there's a salmon season somewhere, but just down in Mississippi there is. At Run DFF, Justin Rogers, what's up, my baby?
Man, I don't know if you're going to catch many salmon at this time of the year anywhere except out in the middle of the damned ocean somewhere by luck, and that's it. Oh. They're not running up rivers right now or anything, and they're certainly not running up rivers in Mississippi. You might go out on the Mississippi River and catch a bull shark.
This salmon here is on a cedar plank for us.
Oh, who is that?
That is a hot voice down there.
Wow. Ooh. I haven't heard that voice in a long time.
Ooh, in years.
A hot minute?
A hot minute. Hot. Since that fire breather was down there.
HotBox Gourmet, right?
Yeah. How did you used to do it there?
Small batch hot sauce.
Yeah. Our own Charlie Harper with the jingle.
That's right. That's how we do it every week. The jingle.
At Bo _McBigTime. Bo McBrayer. Man, I can't even read all the stuff you got going on, man. Mr. Fantasy Pros now, IBT Media. Gosh. Betting pros, when we had you on, you're just pushing the hot box.
He was just a little baby in the world. Yeah, our kid is growing up, Larry.
That's great. It's awesome.
The love child. Your love child grew up and made something for himself.
Yeah, he sure did. What's up, Bo? How you been, man? How you been?
Oh man, it's busy. That's what it sounds like. It's reality, man. Yeah, I need 30 hours in a day so I can get some damn sleep around here.
So you just get 24 hours and no sleep. That is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
Not only are you getting fantasy content out of this guy's Twitter page, but he's got like the timeline cleanse going on throughout the day with all these perfect magazine photo dishes or cuisines, like fancy. You got some pizza on there the other day. I don't know. I mean, you're all over the place, but everything looks like it could be. You can hang it up in like an art exhibit with all these pictures, man.
Hey, man, whatever I can do to make a name for myself that's not like what everybody else sees on the feed, which is negativity, people being toxic, people being flaky, and then the other people being toxic about the flakes out there. It's pretty damaged out there on the streets if you haven't noticed. Yeah. And anything I can do to bring positivity and maybe just a good message for humanity that, hey, not everybody's doing shitty. Like, we all got our shit, but at least my shit is delicious.
Yeah, it's tough dodging those potholes out there, I'll tell you that.
Fuck, man, they're everywhere.
So first of all, you put out a lot of fantasy football content, but you had like this golf side gig also, right?
Yeah, and
what's that all about?
Well, that's because it's golf season coming up.
Well, it's either that or watching the NBA, and everybody knows how I feel about the NBA. The season hasn't even started yet because of the playoffs are months away, and then you got to wait 3 months for the playoffs to be over. And so I grew up a golfer. I started playing when I was 12 years old, and then I've always been a good, decent sports writer. So, I mean, they asked me at Fantasy Pros if I knew about any other sports, and I said, well, I used to be really into baseball. That was my favorite sport to analyze and play fantasy with. Right. I started fantasy baseball. Then, of course, I hooked on fantasy football, and then that turned into a whole thing. But at least with golf DFS, I was already kind of in those streets with DFS. And so you just kind of formulate your own strategy for that particular sport. And it turns out I was pretty decent at playing DFS, whether it was football, golf, baseball, basketball, doesn't matter. But I found a real attachment to golf DFS. And then this last season, Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros wanted me to do DFS and betting content.
Nice.
And we just had a big 40-1 hit this week.
Dude,
Nice.
are we talking about your whole prop?
No, that one did not hit. That one was a bamboozle by DraftKings Sportsbook. Tip of the cap to them. But I had Jake Knapp all week. All week I hyped up Jake Knapp, but there's full minutes of me going on tirades about how Jake Knapp was going to win the Mexico Open. Right. And so if he didn't, it was going to be a lot of explaining to do because of how passionate I stood on the bully pulpit for the guy. But he ended up pulling it out and won me a bunch of money, won everybody who tailed me a bunch of money. So we're a bunch of happy campers over here.
Yeah, I was looking for, actually, I saw this tweet of yours. You were like, make this bet. And it was like, it's whole props.
Yeah.
Just getting
They pulled the rug out from under us on that one.
You had both guys like hitting the green and 2 shots on hole 6. Like, what the fuck is like plus 3,000? I went on FanDuel because I'm like it's easy. I'm like a FanDuel guy.
Yeah.
And I was all over it. I was going to put some money on it, and I couldn't find. There were no hole props. It's disappointing.
Yeah, and I found that in Pennsylvania and New York and a couple other states, they didn't even have bets like that available. Like they're called like novelty bets or something like that, and they just don't do it.
Hole props, man.
Yeah, we don't.
I guess it's for the best though. It didn't hit because the hole 6 ended up being a par 5, and none of the 4 players hit the green in 2. So.
Hence,
I lost 1 unit on that bet. It has happened before. It will happen again. I lost a 1 unit bet, but I look like I'm going to win with Rory McIlroy at plus 210. So that'll be a nice little kickback.
Nice. Is that Rory for the win?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were the only bets I could make when I was looking at the golf section. It was just all like either win or win, just win.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the midst of rookie fever. You've been paying attention to this stuff, man.
Yeah.
You invested in the like Senior Bowl and Shrine Game and
it's clickbait season, baby. Clickbait season.
Oh, ain't no doubt about that.
Woo! Everybody's favorite.
Earlier today,
flag plant season. We got to plant our flags before anybody else, because even if we're wrong, we were first. Okay.
Yeah, one of our patrons, Troy, he posted a thing from NFL Rumors, and then Jim Nagy had basically shot it down. It was like they're doing their due diligence on whatever quarterback it was. And it's like, no shit, they're doing their due diligence.
What else are they doing?
Every player that's going to go to the combine, like, come on, man, just stop with the stupid shit. But that's what it is. It's just clickbait. People love.
Yeah, well, there ain't nothing to really talk about at this point.
Yeah.
People need to know that
there's no reports. It's just what we're all just spinning out of control on our own.
That's true. Yeah. It's true.
So have you paid attention to these rookies? You got an idea of where they stand for you right now?
I have a pretty rough outline. I haven't gone in depth in the film study, which I usually do after the combine. Right. Because I don't put a lot of stock in the combine. I mean, last year I covered the combine completely for Fantasy Pros. I did like 23 articles in and around the combine. And this year, because of my workload with the golf side of it, they gave me 3, which is a lot nicer.
Yeah.
But usually for me, it's like there's certain positions where a particular drill means something to confirm what I've already seen.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's completely just for the fodder on Twitter to talk about who the fastest guys in underwear are, who can jump the highest in underwear, who can look the best in the underwear. And then they get on the football field and it still comes down to what you see on tape and what translates and where they land. Because if you get a great player with a bad coach and a bad situation, guess what happens? You get a Bryce Young.
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned underwear because National Underwear Day is all in August. These guys are walking around.
What day in August? Because if that's during the Fantasy Football Expo, we might have to make a note of it.
All I want to know, Larry, is what prompted you to search National Underwear Day?
Well, National Underwear Day is August 5th.
You should never question Larry's Google search history.
Yeah,
we shouldn't be bringing up those archives. Trust me.
When I was at his house, I didn't even approach his computer. I didn't want to know what happened behind the keyboard.
It's glowing.
Yeah,
I hit all the black lights when
I was going to say he does not have a black light anywhere down there. So for that.
His cookies have cookies, and
you guys have never celebrated National Underwear Day. It's like there's like stuff you can do.
Not if you don't wear underwear.
Yeah, we got Commando Justin reporting for duty.
Yes, yeah, man.
Hello, sir.
Well,
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, if we were pounding beers, I would throw a good story out about not having underwear on.
Another time.
Yeah, we'll save that one.
Another season.
That one.
Put a bookmark in that one for me, Larry.
August 5th for all you National Underwear Day.
August 5th, so it's before the expo.
I'm putting this in my calendar. I'm not even kidding. I'm going down. I use my calendar on my phone for everything. August 5th, National Underwear Day.
Well, there's no other real holidays in August, so we might as well celebrate that one.
Yeah, I have. When I worked in Manhattan for a few years, in Rockefeller Center, and I was walking. I don't know. There was Times Square. Times Square had like this. You get in your underwear and just hang out in Times Square.
That's called New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
You wear diapers New Year's Eve.
So yeah,
National Diaper Day.
Walked around in my underwear for a little bit, just for the hell of it, just to do it. And it's warm out, so it's not like.
Are we talking like whitey tidies, Larry? What were you rocking there, buddy? Give the
boxer briefs, boxer briefs,
striped silk.
Yes, yeah.
Hotter than a pair of rats in a wool sock.
You know what? I had to move to the potato. I had to take it from the back to the front and put it in the front. What?
I don't know what the fuck that's.
Whatever that is.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, he's a good running back.
Gosh, I think I've heard that name before.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, the franchise tag, all that kind of nonsense is passed, and there's no.
It hasn't, Larry. The deadline is next week.
What?
No, this is like a historically early point in time for the Bengals to have tagged T. Higgins. He's only like the second.
Well, that's just because that was the one option they had that made sense,
right?
And then you get these other teams that are announcing that who they're not using the tag on, and those are just leaks that we're privy to. It's not like it's over yet. But none of these running backs are expected to get the tag, like we saw the Tony Pollard news today.
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing with Mixon and Jacobs and Saquon.
Yes.
None of those guys are getting.
It doesn't make sense to franchise a running back because you can let them go anyway.
Right. Yeah, it's not like you have to pay them more if they hit the market.
So we can assume, I guess, that these guys are going to be free agents. And there's some big names out there.
Sure.
Now, you're a Cowboys guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want one of these guys? And when I say these guys, we're talking, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard.
It's interesting because none of the guys that are on the roster in 23 are going to be there, except for Deuce Vaughn. The other three guys are gone. And they might retain Rico Dowdle just because they do have a club option on him. But Pollard's in the wind. He's going to find a new landing spot. Makes sense for him. And then Malik is moving on. He wasn't even making the roster during the season after his injury. So this is going to be a whole new running back room. So theoretically, the Cowboys could go with two mid-range guys, or they could go with one of these studs like Jacobs and Henry and then get another mid-level guy below him to spell him. And that would make sense to me. But I think Jacobs is the best fit for the Cowboys offense. But it would be really cool to have Derrick Henry, even in the twilight of his career, put out one or two double-digit touchdown seasons because they've needed that thumper on the goal line that they missed. They missed Zeke last year. I mean,
Right.
for all that he wasn't the last couple of years, he still was plenty a professional running back. He could score from the goal line. He could get those tough yards. He, of course, wasn't the unbelievable phenomenon that he was his first 3 or 4 seasons, but he was enough. And when they had to use Tony Pollard as a goal line back, he didn't have those instincts. I think he has all the ability and talent, but he doesn't have those instincts that Zeke had to know where the momentum was going to end up on. Just like your goal line dive play, you have to follow the right blocker to score. And Pollard didn't do that. And Zeke obviously still did. Even with New England, we saw Zeke still look like a really quality professional running back.
Yeah. So you don't think the Cowboys bring Pollard back on a deal, like a 2-year deal or something, or even a 3-year deal? See, that's
they very well could if they see that as the best option.
I don't think
tag money. They'll make a run at Jacobs and Henry for sure. Jerry Jones is never immune to taking a risk on an aging player if he finds the right value. And he could, if you want, I mean, Jerry Jones hasn't been really trying to win a championship for 20 years. It's about keeping the team relevant. So this team's never rebuilt. This team is never out of it before they start. As long as they are talked about, Jerry Jones is doing exactly what he wants to do.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, and that's where we're at, is he makes the splash transactions. The salary cap going up helps him retain guys like Tank Lawrence at defensive end, make these mega deals happen with Dak Prescott, and then of course Micah Parsons next year is going to need a big contract. You're no way in hell you're letting him go.
And these running backs, Mike, they're going to be few and far between because the running back class looks to be kind of light this year.
Pretty light. So these vets are going to get a shot at it for sure.
Yeah, this will be the first year in several years that the vets have maybe some leverage. Where you got
the opposite last year.
Too. Yeah, no leverage last year. No names and no leverage. This year,
you got guys like Fournette, who was actually pretty good the year before last, not even get a job all year.
Right, that's wild.
What a waste! What now? There's your roster clogger right there.
The fact that Dalvin Cook got a job and Leonard Fournette couldn't blows my mind.
What blew my mind was how quickly they went from pretty incredible, consistent running backs to not usable at all. I worry about that with some of these guys, like Austin Eckler, like Eckler especially. We already saw kind of that decline happen last year.
Yeah, that second half of the season was rough.
Well, once Kellen Moore got there, I was like, yeah, the Eckler thing that he had with Joe Lombardi at OC, that's not happening this year. Like, Kellen Moore does not throw the ball to running backs, and we needed that from Eckler.
So who do you think they signed for? Who's going to be their RB1 week 1?
Who?
For the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
I think Jacobs.
Wow. Which opens things up, opens the floodgates. Does Zamir White take over
I think that's already in the plans. I think the Raiders saw what they needed to see from Zamir last year, and I'm thankful that I was really high on him coming out. I was like, this Zamir White thing was pretty shaky at first. Didn't have the best rookie season, if you know what I mean. But
he a 5th rounder or 6th rounder or something like that.
He exploded at the end of last year. The Raiders under Antonio Pierce had a whole different identity. And of course, that was a no-brainer hire for them, even though Mark Davis made it look like he was braining pretty hard.
So who do you think's going to be the RB1 in for the Chargers? Because we have, I guess, Eckler's. I mean, he could probably sign back there, I guess. I could see him.
Eckler is going to find a deal probably back with the Chargers, but
I
can't imagine anybody else being there for some reason.
Just think about Blake Corum as a pick that they look to get, and maybe even a little earlier than a lot of teams might go, middle to end of second round. The Chargers might be looking to add a Michigan guy. They got Greg Roman running the offense. Right. They have Jim Harbaugh. I mean, it's the maize and blue down there in powder blue now. So look for them to draft a guy that they know, because running backs that are young and promising, like Blake Corum, who's 5'8", 220, that's a bowling ball out there, and he's quick, he's shifty, he's got good vision. I think that recency bias from Harbaugh and Roman, knowing what they have in Blake Corum, is they might reach a little bit to make sure they get their guy. Another guy to look for is Audric Estime, the Notre Dame guy, because they saw him firsthand.
So you think Corum's could be potentially a day 2 pick?
Yeah.
I think Corum's a day 2 pick, 3rd round at worst.
Yeah, and really, we're not going to see a first rounder running back this year, but that doesn't mean we won't see a cluster of them in the 2nd and 3rd.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, it just naturally it's going to happen. They're going to 4 or 5 guys are going to go in the 2nd and 3rd round just because that's the NFL.
You get a run go, and people start freaking out that their guy's not going to be there.
Yeah, and they got to replace all these old guys anyway. Like that's just there's no getting around that. Like teams are going to have to replace these guys.
And fantasy guys think about this. Dynasty guys think about this more than NFL GMs, but dynasty players are more likely to say, "Oh yeah, the class in 25 is so much better for running backs." These NFL teams are looking to fill needs now. They're not necessarily saying, "Hey, we're going to sit around at running back and wait for next year," because you can't really do that. In practical football sense, they're going to have to fill the needs they have, because their fans and their business isn't going to do well if they're only planning for the future and not this one. They're already giving up on this year, but at a certain position that's pretty important. Yeah, that doesn't really happen. These teams are really locked into this year.
How many QBs you think go in the first round of the NFL draft?
I say 4.
4?
Yeah.
All right.
5th one maybe at the end, but traditionally the last few years we haven't seen that Lamar Jackson style late first trade up by a team who was like just lurking there. Like, because most of the teams with quarterback needs are going to get their guy in the really right at the beginning of the first round via trade up or via their pick that's already established. There's 4 or 5 of those teams, and with the wide receiver and offensive line talent in the top 10, it's actually more likely that one of these top 4 guys slips to 15 or 16.
I took Puka Nacua in a DLF John Hogue mock draft 2 days ago. Guess what round I took him in?
The 2nd.
3rd. I'd say pick
27. Was it 1 QB or super flex? Did you say super
flex? John Hogue League. It's a super flex.
Oh yeah, John. Yeah. All right.
What pick did you say, Bo?
27.
What do you think,
so
Justin?
209. So like the 21st pick.
You say 21st. I took him at the 305, the 29th pick.
That's close.
Yeah, man.
Damn. I didn't even know your draft position, Larry.
That's crazy.
Fuck, man.
I took him. He brought.
Can you tell I'm still locked in right now?
Yeah, but
Stevie D in the chat. What up, Stevie D?
Hey, buddy. Yeah, this DLF draft is interesting. It's weird, some weird stuff. John Hogue throws these around Twitter. If you want to jump in one of his, it creates the DLF ADP.
Is there a trait that you look for, whether it's at the combine or on tape, that stands out more? And do you put more stock into that?
Yeah, the running backs really do need to show something at the combine with the explosive movements. Like the 40 is one thing, but the 10-yard split on the 40 makes more sense to me, because I want to see quick acceleration and I want to see just their running style on tape. Like I like guys that run with good pad level and lean, and they have contact balance, because those are the things that translate from college to the pros. Like guys that run away from people in college aren't necessarily going to be able to run away from professional defenders, especially with how athletic these guys are getting. So running backs really do have to test well for me in the vertical jump and your explosive motions. And in the cone drills, if they do them, I pay attention to those too. But running backs, it's about just what I see on tape that could translate to the next level where like, hey, you got a guy in your gap as soon as you get the ball. What are you doing on the fly? Are you improvising and making something out of it? Or are you doing crazy stuff to try to get into a different gap, like jump cuts? And I like to see a guy take some punishment and see how he reacts. Some of these guys, they get their bell rung and then you don't see the same back the rest of the game. Like they get shocked out of the game. And some of these guys that are in this class don't really do that. They're pretty strong throughout, and they get stronger as the day goes on. That's another notch in the belt for Audric Estime from Notre Dame. That guy's an absolute load out there. So he's a lot faster than people think. I think Estime is going to run a 4.45 or 4.55, and for a guy his size, that's going to have some buzz behind it.
So we did a live mock draft last week, and CJ Stroud went 102 in this particular draft.
That reaction, love it. I love it because I had the same reaction. I was like, what the hell?
Right. He went to 105.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it is okay to love that guy that much, but aren't we as a whole getting a little over our skis on Stroud?
Yes. There's no doubt about that.
That's all I'm saying. He's a wonderful player, and it is going to be for a very long time. It is warranted to take him at 102. But when I'm looking at other guys around 102, I have a stronger feeling about those guys over Stroud. Yeah, and Stroud's nice, but I don't know if he's 102 nice.
Yeah, Allen went first. No one, you can't like in good faith take Stroud over Mahomes. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, because neither one of them is a Konami code quarterback.
Yeah.
And like that's like you're going Josh Allen 101. And then if it's me, I'm taking the guys that get some rushing work behind him. Mahomes doesn't get that much anymore. And Stroud really doesn't get any. And so you're relying on him throwing 35 touchdowns every year. And is that going to happen? Or is he like Joe Burrow, who has one amazing season and then something happens in every other season? Like Joe Burrow was at this exact point 2 years ago.
Right.
And look at him now.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit last week. That has Joe Burrow already hit his ceiling? Like is what he is what we've seen? And I think it's possible that he's like that mid-30s touchdown guy, and that's what we see from him. He never offers anything.
It's not bad though. It's a really good problem to have.
Mid to low QB1, but definitely not like the elite game changer for your fantasy lineup. And I don't know that Stroud can be that either. But Stroud has that extreme youth ceiling that we've seen is reasonable. It's not like he's going to be scoring 16 points a game. He in his first year, he's done more than T-Law has done in 3 years. So,
see, having Richardson at 10 there, that's stealing.
Well, this is the ADP mock I'm doing right now with John Hogue. He brought me in after the second pick. I made the third pick was my first pick. So whoever was making picks first took Stroud at the 105. I'm kind of okay with him there, I guess. I don't know. Burrow's kind of early for me.
What about Hurts and Stroud? Are people that down on Hurts right now? Do I need to go buy more Jalen
Hurts at 106, you mean? You think Hurts, was once the 101. Now he's going 106 in this particular mock draft.
I'm seeing him going even later than that.
Wow.
And it is too low because it's still a guy who's going to score a bunch of touchdowns.
He scored a shit ton of points this year. Like, it doesn't matter what people get biased by how the team did at the end of the season. He wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he was.
They couldn't cover anybody.
Right.
Yeah. And this mock has
their offensive play calling was so bad that I don't think anybody could have done anything.
Yeah. Lamar vaulted back up to the 103. Burrow 4.
QB2 this year in scoring and goes at the 106. And what is he, 24? He's 25. Yeah. So that's too low for me. I still want him in that top tier with Mahomes and Allen. But I don't think that you can take, in my opinion, I don't think you can take Josh Allen behind Mahomes at this point. Like, he's outscored Mahomes in like 4 of the last 5 seasons or something like that. Like it's
Well,
hard.
Mahomes in the last 6 years has only been the quarterback one time.
Ooh.
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, you got all these guys that are going to outscore a very safe bet to be top 5.
Josh Allen
That's where the value.
The
That's the
highest score.
value with Mahomes. Mahomes is going to be top 5 no matter what happens.
Yeah.
except this year.
And that, yeah, and that's like even then he was what 7,
8. Yeah.
It was still, yeah. So you're looking at a guy who, in his worst statistical season, is still very viable starter every single week.
Sure.
He's not killing you by any stretch. And then that's your safety blanket. And your meteor rocket shots are on your Konami quarterbacks like Richardson and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Those are the guys.
Allen has been the QB1. He was the QB1 in 2020, 2021, and this past year. And he was the QB2 last year, but you got to remember, he also basically missed an entire game.
Yeah.
Because of DeMar Hamlin. Not because of, but as a result of that.
Right.
So
he was QB1 in points per game.
Yeah. Should have been the QB1.
Is that production sustainable, being that he did not really use his presumable wide receiver 1 in Diggs for once they got the new offensive coordinator?
If Josh Allen was throwing for 3,500 yards and 22 touchdowns a year, I would have questions. But when he's out there throwing for 4,500 yards or 4,400 yards and 35 or 40 touchdowns, how do you argue with that? Like, he had a bad season this year and he threw for 29 touchdowns.
And ran in 10 more.
Right. I mean, he had 37, 36, and 35 touchdowns the 3 previous years. It seems sustainable to me. I mean, this guy has 22,000 passing yards after 6 seasons. I mean, he ain't exactly sitting on his hands back there.
So who's the wide receiver 1? Is Kincaid going to be the guy?
Well, how can Kincaid be the guy when he's fighting with Knox out there for targets?
I feel like they may be grooming him for a larger role.
I know this is Larry.
I heard that story at the beginning of last year.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
Larry's trying to speak.
Kincaid's going to be the slot receiver. Kincaid's going to split out wide. I was like watching the tape for him at Utah against USC the first time when he scored all these points. And then the second game, USC, who has no defense, shut Kincaid down just by putting a DB on him instead of a linebacker. That was how easy it was. So I didn't see all this Kincaid upside that everybody did. Like, he, of course, is a really solid receiving tight end, but he was never going to be your elite guy, right. especially when Knox was healthy. It wasn't ever going to happen because there's Khalil Shakir is their wide receiver 1 in the back half, and that's because Diggs got filtered out for whatever reason. Diggs wasn't the guy down the stretch, even though he should have been, because the proof is in the pudding. The Bills fell apart and should have gotten deeper into that playoff run, but they phased out their best player out of the offense.
It is really weird.
Give me Shakir at cost. Shakir at cost is incredible value. They love that guy.
Well, Gabe Davis is going to be gone. I think that's kind of a given. And so now you're looking at Diggs, Shakir, and the 2 tight ends. And so they're going to have to bring somebody in. Now, I don't know who that is, whether it's a rookie, maybe a second-round rookie pick or a free agent. I don't know what happens with Godwin and Evans. I think it could be one of those guys. I don't know. I'm not at all concerned about Josh Allen's production. Like, dude is QB1 for the last 4 years, basically. Why even argue it? Why even fight it? Like, we all love Mahomes. I have Mahomes in a bunch of
it's apparent that he doesn't need Stephon Diggs to still be that QB1.
Right, exactly. Like, Stephon Diggs
could be with any decent receiving core.
Well, Diggs isn't going to deal with that because he's kind of one of those old school diva wide receivers.
Who cares about Diggs in the grand scheme of Josh Allen? Diggs is not the X factor.
Well, who's the wide receiver you want then? Who's the fantasy friendly? I know you want Josh Allen because he's the whole team, but who's? I mean, in this particular mock draft, it's the reason I brought up Kincaid. He was the first Buffalo skill position drafted, outside of Josh Allen in this mock draft. Who do you want in Buffalo? Like James Cook? I mean, really? I mean, who do you want in Buffalo without such a just a potent offensive team? You really can only have one guy, right? Who is it? Who do you want?
Josh Allen. But the oversold part of Dynasty is this mentality that we need stacks.
Right.
We absolutely do not need stacks in Dynasty.
Bo,
your job is to maximize value in every transaction you make. If it's a waiver addition, if it's a trade, it should make your team better. And that doesn't lead you down that path. Like I won a couple of years of championships with the Allen and Diggs stack. That's the nice stack of the last few years. That we've ridden home to many championships. That era might be over. It's okay. Josh Allen's still scoring a shit ton of points, regardless of who's out there, and I want to be part of that. So quarterback lifespan in Dynasty so much longer than these other positions is for the next year or two. Who the hell cares who his wide receiver one is? It's QB1, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about the entire team and how we're valuing all those players that Kincaid is the first position player off the board. And it was pretty far down, relative to first player off of other teams. Especially with the quarterback.
I think he's on his way.
Who's that?
Khalil
Shakir.
Yeah.
You like the Shakir? Wow. This guy wanted Shakir thrown in on a deal.
Of course he did.
Last year.
Listen to Bo.
In the OG league. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Honestly, to me, Shakir is a guy that is somebody I really probably won't want to start very much because I don't ever see him breaking out into even a wide receiver 2.
No, because it's the whole Buffalo effect again. It's just all Josh Allen. So he's going to have your Gabe Davis game, your one game of fucking like 150 yards and 3 touchdowns.
During 2023, he was better than Gabe Davis the entire time. And that's before Gabe leaves town. So what does that tell you about what the pecking order already is? Gabe Davis being out of town without even a sniff of an offer tells you everything you need to know about what they feel about Khalil Shakir.
Yeah.
Because that became their flanker.
Right.
You got Diggs at X, you got Shakir at flanker, you have Kincaid in the slot, you have Knox in the inline position when they go to 12 or to 12 personnel. That was what they identified as a 12 personnel team with 2 outside wideouts. And then they threw their extra 4th wide receiver or 5th option was their outlet back, James Cook. And him running those little wheels in Texas routes knifed up defenses because they were trying to go 2 high safeties, prevent the big play because Josh Allen's got that kind of arm talent. And they got diced up by Shakir underneath in the middle and by James Cook running routes. And then, of course, when you spread out to try to cover all these blades of grass, you still got a 6'5" horse in the backfield at quarterback that can take it to the house on his own merit anytime he wants. That's what the Bills' offense is just get into space for Josh Allen. And if you're covered, Josh Allen's going to make room for himself.
Yeah, Justin, I think I traded you Josh Allen for Lamar Jackson in a 1st-round pick. Actually,
and it ended up being Kincaid. Josh Allen. It was Lamar Jackson and Kincaid for Josh Allen or something, right? Didn't you take Kincaid with that?
God damn it, you're going to make me look.
It seems pretty fair on both sides, honestly.
Yeah, I ended up moving Josh Allen at the end of last year to someone who had Herbert. I did that. You found the draft, Larry. What'd you take?
No, I found the Khalil Shakir trade that I made.
This is the one we went to.
Check this out. I traded for Shakir on May 1st and then traded him away on May 31st of 2020.
Real flip.
I gave up the 104 for Khalil Shakir, the 105, and the 2nd-round pick.
You put carpet over the laminate flooring and then flipped it. and flipped that house.
And then on May 31st, I gave up Shakir and the 105 for DJ Moore, the 202 and the 206.
That's a good deal.
Woo!
Yeah.
Wheeling and dealing, baby.
DJ Moore is exciting.
You gave up the 107, or I gave up the Lamar and the 107 for Josh Allen. So let's go see
Okay.
what happened. The 107 was Jordan Addison. That's actually nice.
Oh, well, I traded Addison. So
You traded Addison before he was worth anything, didn't you? I can't believe you took Addison over Kincaid.
No, I traded Addison for James Cook and Luke Musgrave at a 1.5.
I'm sorry.
Addison for James Cook and Musgrave at a 1.5.
I'm sorry.
That was on August 25th. That was August 25th.
Yep, before he was worth anything.
Ouch.
No. Those are the ones that hurt. They hurt so bad. When you look back at those ones, you're like, oh.
So speaking of DJ Moore, I have a trade offer. And it's not a good one.
It's existing?
I got it while we were recording.
Oh, let's hear it.
Through, let's see, 31 minutes ago. It's not great. I get DJ Moore. I give up Kyler Murray. No.
That's silly. Give me a break. In a super flex? Come on now.
Yeah. I also have a trade.
I love Kyler Murray, so.
Me too, Bill. Me too. I'm like the Kyler Murray truther.
You guys aren't going to like the trade that I have sitting in my inbox then.
Well, the other one I mentioned in the Patreon just to get some feedback on, but Devontae Adams or the 203 and 209. Contender. Playoff.
Devontae Adams or what?
For the 203 and 209.
Oof. 12 team?
Yeah, 12 team.
There's no 113 loser fucking.
No, there's none of that. Wait, 203, 209.
I don't know. I don't know if I do that.
I mean, how much do you really hate Devontae making that deal?
Right.
Though?
That's not a trade you do out, but in this time of year.
Devontae is the guy I'm riding until he just goes to dust,
or someone else really needs him.
Yeah, and see, I would be getting Devontae.
Oh,
then it's a good deal.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't mind it.
And one's a late 2. One's an outside the top 20 pick.
Yeah, it's 209. So the 21st pick. Yeah,
that's after the cliff.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know why you don't do that.
Give up the 203 and the 209 for him.
Yeah,
it seems like
one of the top 5 best wide receivers in the game. Like he did great with fucking Aiden O'Connell out there.
He's going to get like 12 targets a game.
Yeah,
you guys.
He's the only guy that gets open every single time.
Him and Zamir White are going to fucking eat.
Jacoby Myers is great, but he's also hurt a lot, so I want to trust him. But
can I tell you? Can I just digress just for a second? When I made that Khalil Shakur trade on May 1st, on a 1 week prior to that, on April 22nd, that's when I gave up the Josh Allen pick. But I had traded for Josh Allen on February 27th.
Yeah.
I gave up Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, the 4-1 and the 4-2 for Josh Allen.
And see, that shit right there didn't make any sense.
On February 27th, it does. Monday at 8:29 p.m.
Who trades
this time of year is squirrely, though. You like, I'm trying to get picks, but the picks are so expensive right now for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
This is the time of year right now
you're supposed to. Yeah, this time of year you're shopping your picks out to get vets, like getting Devontae Adams for 2 random seconds that, I mean, they could turn into nobody and nobody.
Oh, speaking of, on July 13th, I traded Kadarius Toney and a 24-second for James Conner and Keenan Allen.
I love getting rid of Toney shares. I've had one ever, and I got him I traded him away for a 2nd round pick, and I still haven't acquired a single share since.
But these are the types of deals you make in February and May and July. It's just like you might.
Well, yeah, you got Keenan Allen out of that deal. That's smart. Like, you're going after these bets that are depressed in value now, that are going to rise in value as we get closer to the season.
Mm-hmm.
And these rookies are hyped up to no end right now because it's rookie fever. And especially once the combine happens, once the draft happens, and we find out where these guys are going, and rookie fever is going to be out of control. and we're still in that really fun little pocket of time where you're trying to acquire veteran players for picks because the picks have so much value right now.
Yeah, you could really load up this time of year. There is that window where the picks, start flying for players, and some folks are just like into it. Now you guys are both familiar with the incoming class. The trade that's sitting in my inbox right now is Kyler Murray or Michael Wilson, the stack, or Justin Fields and the 109. 12 team, 2-point tight end. That's Kyler Murray, Michael Wilson, Fields, and the 109.
Oh, Fields and 109 is sexy. As 109 is going to be somebody like Roma Dunze, or
You think
like,
he drops that far?
We're pretty loaded at the top here.
I think we're going to see.
Could be a Troy Franklin, who I'm a big fan of.
You are a big fan of him.
6'2", 170.
Flies.
Yeah,
He looks so much like Calvin Ridley out there. It's just this dude just roasts guys on the outside.
Savvy route runner.
Yep, fast as hell, and
and
can get open. Like
Dunze,
guys with good release packages that can get open and then burn on the back end once they get the ball. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
So you're going to get Harrison. You're going to get your top 3 quarterbacks for sure in the early first.
right.
You're going to get Harrison, Neighbors, Bowers.
That's 6.
And then you're looking at the next tier of wide receivers, Dunze, Franklin. I mean, there's just 12 excellent wide receivers that are going to go.
One big cluster there of guys.
But 109, you're sitting there saying, I'm going to get a really good wide receiver here. Or maybe this class went four quarterbacks and Bowers is still sitting there.
Right.
And I get Brock Bowers at 109, a 2-point tight end, which should never happen, but it will happen because these wide receivers are going to get pumped up and Bowers is not. The tight end getting burned the last couple of years. Not everybody can be Sam Laporta. We're getting burned left and right by these promising rookie tight end prospects. Yeah. When in reality, we should just be patient with them because they still end up turning into the player that they were going to be anyway.
That's why I'm still holding Kyle Pitts everywhere, damn it.
Yeah, because this new offense he's going to be running with Zach is going to be exciting. We're going to actually look what he did with Tyler fucking Higbee. Higbee's garbage. Higbee's garbage, and the dude just standing wide open on every play. All he had to do is just stand there, and he was the outlet pass. And you got a guy that can run like Kyle Pitts in that role. It's so appealing.
Yeah, I'm hoping for it. I'm taking the Kyler side, and not because I don't like the 109, but because I don't like Justin Fields' long-term prospects.
I think Justin Fields could be an MVP candidate for the next 5 years running. He's that good.
Not
at throwing the ball, he ain't.
If he goes to Atlanta, which I do think he does, then wheels are up for that offense. That offense is going to score a bazillion points.
The only question I have is he capable? Not will.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Is he though?
1,000,000% yes.
See, that's my problem. Is
he was a top 5 fantasy quarterback with no supporting cast.
But no, that's not true because you had DJ Moore and Cole Kmet on that team.
No, we're talking 2022. When he was healthy, he was QB1 4 out of 5 weeks.
Yeah, but my question
4 to 5 weeks.
But
with nobody
is not in his ability to score fantasy points. My question is in his ability to be a starter for an NFL team. Because without the throwing, he's Tim Tebow out there. I mean, he's not doing anything with his arm. So this is the guy who he did start with Matt Nagy as an offensive coordinator, and then he got stuck with what's his name? I can't even remember his name. The guy just got canned this year. I'm blank as well.
Yeah, we're talking about he's been dealt the worst hand. What he showed with his arm at Ohio State are the glimpses that we saw when his offense wasn't completely inept around him in Chicago, where even if he didn't run a 4.4 and have 1,000-yard seasons rushing, his throwing at Ohio State and in glimpses, despite all the odds, have been incredible. This guy is, I think, more talented than Jalen Hurts. He's more talented as a player. We just haven't seen it because he's been dealt a shitty hand. I think in going to Atlanta or Pittsburgh, where something's established that he can actually use his skills in any kind of fashion. Matt Nagy wanted Andy Dalton over him, even though they spent a high pick on him. It makes no sense at all that Justin Fields can't be a top 5 fantasy quarterback and somebody that with enough talent around him and a decent offensive coordinator could be an MVP candidate every single year because he's that young and he's that talented.
He was my QB2 far and away in that class. I had T-Law and Justin Fields, and I had Justin Fields closer to T-Law than I did to Trey Lance and whatever. But I have not seen it from him at all. I mean, there's been games here and there. There's been halves here and there. There's not been a 3 or 4 game stretch where he's put it all together. And that makes me question whether he's got it because we're now 3 years in, headed into year 4, and he's not shown that he has actually evolved as a passer. And to give him, because he's only got 1 more year to prove it. He's done if he has another year with 2,500, 2,700 yards passing and, teen touchdowns, 17, 19 touchdowns, he's done. He's a backup because no one wants to go. The Bears went 5-8 with him as a starter last year. No one wants to have a losing record with a quarterback who hasn't made a step forward, but throwing under center.
Blah, blah, blah,
no one's gonna invest in that.
I took the deal just now, as you were talking. The 109, baby. It's all about the 109. Michael Wilson. Listen, so Rocky
Michael Wilson's a nothing.
Hold on, Larry. Jim says Larry
that's
secretly loves Fields. It is not a secret, Jim. Larry loves Fields.
Well, here's the deal with that trade. It's a good deal because I consider Kyler Murray and Justin Fields to be about equal. So you're saying, do you want the 109 or do you want Michael Wilson? And that's the 109 a million times out of a million. Yeah. It's a pretty easy trade to take.
Well,
the stack doesn't hold much value.
Because of this conversation. So Rocky Petrella of the Dynasty
Junkies.
The Trade Addicts.
No, Junkies.
Junkies and whatever.
That's his podcast, The Junkies.
Okay. Well, Rocky's in our listener league, which we have an open orphan. Somebody wants to take it. Hey now.
Well, no, we have 2
orphans.
We had another person who is dropping some leagues. He dropped our league and another league that we're in together with him. So we have 2 orphans. If you're interested in
get on it,
42 team, 3 copy league, 14 team divisions, lots of names, lots of players, some quirky rules in there, high tight end premium, and
reach out,
drafting some first round picks in your rookie drafts. Here we
Sounds fun, everybody.
Yeah.
So Rocky he does the Dynasty game night as well, and he's like, hey, anybody wants to fill out this form, whatever.
No. You cannot. No, Larry, you cannot. You cannot put the questions out there.
I can't blow them up.
No, you cannot. That is the reason that they do. No, stop. I'm saving you, Larry.
I didn't sign no confidentiality agreement.
No. I'm just going to keep talking till you move on from this. We cannot talk about what those questions were. That is not fair for anyone out there who might be on the show. On the game show. No, Larry, absolutely not.
Well, I'm just giving you my answer. Well, okay, my answer was Justin Fields.
Okay, good. All right. Congratulations. Now we'll figure it out later. But yeah, Fields is not a secret for Larry. Larry is openly a Fields lover now.
Yeah, man. Dude, guy starts out slow and then goes berserk. That's how
I value job security, and he has none right now. He has 0 job security.
The whole salary reset is so huge for a team.
Especially if you're not winning games, and he has not won games.
Yeah,
he's leading his team to top 5 overall picks.
Well, whatever. I don't know what to tell you. I'm excited. The 109 rookie
fever. You're going to end up with a lot of backup Fields in 2025. A lot of backup quarterbacks in Justin Fields.
You want all the quarterbacks to be drafted in the first round because that will pump him up for the first round of a rookie draft, and which will
get
knock everybody else down to you for if you have a late round pick.
Right, late first.
So, the 109, who knows? Hopefully, we get a couple of those other QBs drafted in the first round. And
if JJ McCarthy goes in the top 15, does he vault into the top 6 or 7 of a rookie draft, or do people still stay stick?
I don't see why not.
Well, I'm asking, do you think that the people – I know we get your answer, but do you think that he pushes into the top 6 of a Superflex draft? Or is he still, behind Bowers and all those guys? Like if Bowers is the 106 right now with Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. in the three quarterbacks, does he now vault in front of Bowers, or are we still taking Bowers? Are we still taking Odunze? We're still taking Troy Franklin before J.J. McCarthy, that kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty easily.
Yeah, so he gets down to like the 109, 110 range at the earliest.
Yeah.
I don't think that he can vault into the top half of the first, or even the top 8.
Who?
J.J. McCarthy.
No.
I think he's locked into
the rookie draft.
Yeah, rookie draft. Even if he goes top 15 in the NFL draft, I don't think he can get into the. There's too much skepticism.
No, and he's not the kind of guy that's going to put up rushing yards, and he's not a stat patter anyway. Like he's going to be your game manager type, and that's all that he's going to be at the next level. Yeah, he has big play potential, but I don't think a team is going to draft him to be this wearing a cape kind of guy.
Yeah.
Jim Dickey says he's comparing Josh Allen and Justin Fields. He says, if I remember correctly, this same thing was said about him his first 3 years, talking about Josh Allen. Actually, what we saw was progressive improvement from Josh Allen from year 1, 2 into year 3.
Thanks to what?
Did he get his DJ? Did he get his DJ Moore in Stephon Diggs though? When he got
on top of a really good play caller.
Oh, that's
he got both. He got both.
But he exploded for 4,500 yards and 37 touchdowns his third year. So we didn't see any explosion out of Fields, play caller or not. What's crazy is he had like a 71% completion percentage to DJ Moore, which means that every other player that he threw to, he was just shit.
Hold on. So this trade
means
went through, right?
Every player he threw to couldn't get open at all.
I'm getting killed in the chat right now for making this deal.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
Some dude was like, "This was a bad trade." Yeah. So I made this deal with Shane Manila, by the way. That trades in 5 guy.
Shane is the worst.
No, he just scooped Kyler Murray off of Larry Monkey.
Murray and the 109, baby. I'm excited.
I love Justin Fields, so I think you're just getting the value from 109 to Wilson. That's honestly the trade.
Yeah, we view Fields and Murray differently because I think Murray is the established, has the contract, has won games in the NFL, has taken a team to the playoffs, etc.
Right.
Dickie, Fields had DJ Moore this year, just like Allen had Stephon Diggs. What do you want to say? Very comparable in that respect. Like he got his.
You can't pretend that DJ Moore is Stephon Diggs, though. Not from 3 years ago.
I mean,
he's great, but Stephon Diggs was like 160 target guy for 3 straight years.
Yeah, but do you remember how Diggs was before he got to Buffalo? He wasn't that guy. He was the wide receiver 2. No, he was the wide receiver 2 behind Thielen on the Vikings.
But he was still a 1,000-yard receiver and in a run-heavy scheme in Minnesota.
so was DJ Moore in Carolina, 1,000-yard receiver in a run-heavy scheme. It's really comparable how they did as far as that goes. Diggs, before he got to Buffalo, 1,130 yards on 63 catches and 6 touchdowns his last year in Minnesota. The year before that, 1,021 yards. Like his resume goes.
Case Keenum, baby.
What? Wait a minute. Keenum with the Vikings, Keenum, or Keenum
Yeah,
with the
Keenum with the Vikings.
Texans, or the
That
Denver
was
Broncos
the
Keenum?
Vikings quarterback in Minnesota the last year that Diggs was the receiver there.
That was they had a famous play at the end of the game.
The
that
miracle,
went against
yeah.
them, right? They go against
No,
them.
it went for
It
them.
went for them.
Diggs scored the game winner.
That's right. Case Keenum, baby. You know it. Oh, yeah. Dickey is the commissioner in that league. Jim Dickey's in the chat right now. The league where I made that deal.
Dickie hates Kyler Murray. I don't like him.
Well, I'm with Bo. I kind of think they're similar as far as Murray and Fields. I don't think that there's that big of a drop off. And then the 109 up against Wilson, I feel like it's
a no-brainer.
I think as passers, they're not even on the same level.
We've talked about this. When Fields goes to his team that he's going to get traded to, it's going to be fucking wheels up for Fields. Like wherever he goes, they're not trading for him unless the Jets trade for him and back him up on Rob.
Like I said last week, you can go wheels up and the plane crashes. That is absolutely in the realm, and maybe probably
that's why we play Dynasty, baby.
Because he can take off, he can pull the wheels up, and then run into the side of the mountain. I mean, it just is what it is. Like we're not even if it's wheels up,
long for the ride.
Even if it's wheels up, it doesn't mean we're cruising at altitude with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
It's a lot of plane.
All right. Well,
analogies there.
So what do you think, man? Know what I think? I need to get myself a bottle of HotBox Gourmet Small Batch Hot Sauce. HotBox Gourmet Small Batch Hot Sauce. Fuck yeah, baby. It's been a while since I had some. I'm on the website right now. BigTimeFlavor.com. I got a few of your products in my spice cabinet. What do I have besides? I have like your hot dry rub. What's that called?
Shelby Street Heat.
Oh no, I'm like even prior to that. I think I have what it used to be called.
It used to be called That's Cluckin' Hot.
Yes, Shelby Street Heat. Oh man,
that's a fan favorite.
Yeah,
they love that spicy sweet combo for Nashville chicken, Nashville catfish. I use it just in my regular jambalaya cooking. Like when I season my chicken for jambalaya, it goes in. That's what I season it with. Is the Nashville hot?
Right,
there you are.
Right to him. Right to Mr. Fly DFF with all his aviation puns.
Runner McFez, right? Is that what's
there's somebody on the wing.
We like spice down here, man. I'm telling you, we like some spice down here. So
I know, and you guys are deprived of good flavor with your spice. That's the hard part.
Do you ever hunt? Do you ever shoot an animal or murder an animal, Bo?
Murder an animal.
I grew up on a hunting ranch, so the answer is yes.
A hunting ranch? What?
Yeah. 4,000 acres. We had deer tags. We had hog tags. We had every type of game.
So you lived in the fucking Amazon rainforest, or apparently.
Yola Boli National Mountain Range. So
you just walk around naked? Like ever?
No, but we could I could go and I could pack a hike with a backpack and set up a tent for a week and just spend a week fishing during the summer. Our nearest neighbors were 6 miles away.
Not seeing.
So you don't wear any clothes when you're hanging out, I guess.
I didn't have to. I guess I missed some opportunities to go completely in the buff out in nature as one does.
Sure.
But right. I didn't experiment with shrooms until I was a grown up. So I guess I missed those chances when I was a kid.
Yeah, plus you don't want skeeter bites in the wrong places.
Yeah, and they're out. That we have to no-see-ums too in the springtime. They nasty.
Those are worse than skeeters.
Yeah, because they're aggressive. They're just assholes.
If you don't have a thermocell, that is the best investment for any folks out there that are outside all the time. Get yourself a thermocell. Save yourself some heartache.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, Justin? We need to wrap this up. Let Mr. Bo McBigTime hit the road.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's time to let him get back to his hot sauce.
Jesus.
Give me some shots here.
From one hot sauce.
You guys have been much too nice to me tonight. So I was expecting some jabs, and you guys took it easy on me. So
yeah, you know what? I'm a tad under the weather, and it sucks. I'm pissed.
I know, Larry. You sound like shit.
I'm trying to I feel okay, but I just have this like head thing. You know,
you got Justin over here on the casting couch looking like Burt Reynolds on the Bearskin over here.
Thank God it's not the whole shoot. Yeah, not the whole piece.
Look, I'm not getting off this couch until I build the shop and put my little office out there. Until then, I'm on this couch. And then I don't know what I do out there.
Yeah, so follow Bo, man. Just go on his page and follow everything that he's got going on, because the Hot Box batch and just the Big Time Flavor Company. He's got all kinds of stuff that, like we talked about earlier, the golf stuff. IBT Media. We've what's his name? Nate Polvault. He's a part of that, right? Yeah.
He was up until recently. So yeah. No, it's all amicable, but it's like people move on and do their own thing, and
so we had.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the founders. I mean, he was one of the people that helped set it up to what it is today. So yeah, we give Nate a shout for sure.
Okay, he can have a shout, I guess. That's like Lindsay Rhodes. We had Lindsay Rhodes on, and I was like, "Hey, yeah, listen to your podcast." And she was like, "The one that doesn't exist anymore."
Yeah.
Yes, that one.
Where can we find you? Not there.
Awesome.
Yeah,
man. It was great to have Bo. Hey, Bo, what are you doing for the NFL draft? The first night of the NFL draft. We like to have a nice live draft party. You're welcome to join us at any time. Come on for a round or two if you like. But
hey, if that's a formal invitation, I'll have to put it on my list.
Yeah,
I haven't really thought of it, honestly. We're still a couple months out, so let me check my calendar. But I definitely would love to spend that kind of night with you all.
And you will get jabbed. You'll get jabbed. Stay on those as long as we can get you for the Cowboys pick.
It won't be as nice.
Don't tempt me with a good time, okay?
What do you got? What are you thinking for their first? Do they have a first round pick, the Cowboys?
Yeah, it's like 25 or 26. I'm
hoping
to get I'm hoping to get one of these good tackles that slips because every other position is loaded.
Yeah,
like if they get Fatanu from Washington or Fashanu from Oregon State, I want one of those guys.
Yeah, they need to invest in that offensive line. Reinvest.
It's just getting older. It's been good, but it's getting older. Tyron Smith isn't going to last much longer. Neither will our guy Zach. It's a good line, but it's older. If by some miracle Jackson Power Johnson, the Oregon center, falls to 26, the Cowboys would be morons to not take him. That guy's an absolute monster.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey.
Cool. Maybe we'll see you on draft night then.
Possibly.
Well, you're my first invitation, so the chances are looking good.
See there,
it's a long night. We have friends come and go throughout the evening, so yeah, it'd be great if you pop in and say hi. And once again,
Jim Dickey wants to know what I think of Frank's.
We could talk about it if you have a couple minutes.
Do yourself a favor.
What do you think of Frank's hot sauce? It's. Can I answer for you?
Good. Go for it.
It's no hot box batch.
No, it's correct.
It's definitely not.
So if you've had, obviously people have had their wings dipped in Frank's and butter. That's the traditional thing. Right. And of course that's solid. That's good. That's good stuff right there. But I implore you to try HotBox and butter because the flavor and the heat are amplified more in both ways over Frank's Red Hot. So more flavor, more heat, and just a better mouthfeel. I think Frank's aftertaste is kind of what puts me off of them. Is you're getting your initial sweet, tangy, spicy, and then it gets kind of metallic and plasticky at the end for me. So,
Jim Dickey loves a good mouthfeel. So
yeah, Jim Dickey, if you want the best mouthfeel, use my hot sauce, which is only clean ingredients. I don't know what the hell they put in Frank's Red Hot to mass produce it like they do, but it can't be all clean ingredients like HotBox.
I love it, dude. And as we were talking, I have just purchased 2 bottles of HotBox batch because I miss it.
Dang. My phone just buzzed.
Yeah, you got an order to send out. Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, man. That hot box on the eggs in the morning. That's some good shit.
Yeah.
Here we go. 219. Confirm.
Did he just tell us his CVV number on the back of his plate?
He did. He did.
I did.
We just need a few more pieces of information.
Yeah, so Larry, let's get
The Patreon's getting a skimming lesson.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I love the hot box batch. I haven't had it in a while, so this is gonna be nice. I make myself a grilled chicken wrap, whole wheat wrap.
Ooh, yeah.
Make it myself and I just use grilled chicken. I just do my hot sauce, grilled chicken in the wrap. That's it.
Larry, I think you should leave that part in where you said your number and just beep it. Beep. That shit was funny. All right, well let's let Bo get out of here. I got to get to my bowl of cereal anyway.
Oh, it's cereal time! Thanks for listening. To the Dynasty Hot Box.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Larry Monkey.